Let's go Blues.
Let's go Blues.
Who are you, Blues fan? We're bleeding blue with you.
Let's go Blues. Let's go Blues.
Had to have the kids. Love the kids. I'm learning how to do guys little sound clips here, so bear with me. Guys flying to Hawaii, so I figured I would try to do one without him. Didn't really share it out though, so probably won't have a lot of viewers. Yeah, I'm sorry, Ryan, but you and I both know that he isn't going to listen to anyone's advice. He doesn't listen to my advice. He doesn't listen to, you know, he's going to do what he's going to do. Hey, John, what's up, man? Big game tonight against the Devils. We'll see if Toronto's game was a fluke with the scoring. It was really great to see all the goals. Now, hopefully, we can stop letting those, same amount of goals in and maybe not go to overtime so that we don't have to stay up all night. Hey, John, thanks for that heart. Yeah, this is definitely a trial, and I am failing. Yes, I hated the shirtless idea. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to do a topless show. I mean, if it was just the guys and Lance and Guy want to do that, that's great. I don't think my boyfriend or my daughters would really like it, and I don't think that YouTube would keep that up if I were topless. But I mean, it was creative. I liked a lot of the advice given about um so I don't have the stat pack, so this is where I usually don't do a show by myself because I don't get that unless Guy sends it. But I'm going to look up some stats to see what we got coming ahead of us. Just bear with me 1 second. Yeah, John, I know those are rough. How long do you have before you got to go in tonight, bud? Okay, the Devils, they're a pretty hot team right now. They are 24, 11, and 3 for 51 points. Though they haven't been playing as well as of late. Their last 10, they're 3, 6, and 1. The Blues, 18, 17, and 3 for 39 points. And we're 6, 2, and 2, so we're a little hotter. Ooh, 9 o'clock. I don't miss those overnight shifts at all. They were rough. Yeah, we've had better seasons and we've had worse seasons too. I mean, if you think about it as a fan base, the Blues have spoiled us because it's more unlikely that they don't make the playoffs than they make it. So we've always had a winning team. We might not have gotten the cup, but we've always done well. Oh, you fixed it. It's spelled correctly now. I thought you had to keep that name for a month, Ryan. I'm just trying to share it out so that maybe my buddy Chris Lambert could join us. Maybe. I doubt it. I'm really not as good at this as Guy is. I hope you're right. I really want to see a tough game. Hmm. Hey, Sammy. Let's see. What should you change it to? I mean, if you're wanting to get guys' attention, I would do something along the lines of trade tank or something like that. Hey, Brad. Are you talking about Wendy? I don't think Wendy would join me because I don't get on Twitter enough to know how to send that link. I'm kind of with you, but they also have games at hand. I think they're 2 games back, so we're not as close to the Avs as we think, but I'm optimistic that we, can go on a kill of a streak here. And hey, thanks, August. I really appreciate it. Guy is so much better at switching from screen to screen than I am, and I'm trying to share it out and what have you. What are the keys to the game that you guys think? I think that for me, I want to see Shen keep up the game that he had against Toronto. I want to see that top line that we have, continue to grind and, create anything. For a while, it just felt like they were standing around, um, especially against Minnesota. They were standing around puck watching, and I'm just excited to see how they quickly flip the script after their text from Army. Okay, it's looking like the pregame line is going to be. Yeah, I lost it. Bennington is our starter. Darkness says that we're only 5 points out with a game in hand on Calgary for wild card 1 in the West. That's great. I didn't look at that, so that's better than I thought. I think team mentality will be let's go play and have fun. What do we have to lose? And I hope you're right. And I think that that's the best mentality to have right now because what do they have to lose? They're down 2 of their top forwards. They're down several key defensive pieces, and we have a lot of the Thunderbirds up here right now. So now is a time for players like Neighbors and Rosen's been shining. He's been taking advantage of his opportunity, but Rosen and Toropchenko, they all have a chance to shine while, they're up in the big league. We started the other night out shooting the Leafs 10-3, 10-2. Yeah, that was a good start to the game, and I'm hoping that they can keep up that momentum. We can't get stuck just playing that game where we're watching and letting them, take off in a tear and we're just observing. We have to be aggressive. And I think that having fun, like Sammy said, will also have a huge part in it. I mean, yeah, to an extent. I just feel like it depends because the East, it seems like the same teams are still on a tear. And Darkness says this is actually a good thing if we can stay afloat till we get guys back, and the very valuable experience for Neighbors and Alexandrov, whose name I blanked on. Thank you, Darkness, who will likely be up here full time next year. I agree. Yeah, Dallas did shock me this season. And in all honesty, I'll have to give it to Lance because he predicted that Seattle would have a much better year. They're surprising me. And so is oh, the Red Wings. They're doing really well compared to previous seasons. I mean, they're still kind of the fringe. They may or may not make the playoffs, but it's still such a huge improvement from what they have been doing the past few seasons. Makes me really miss Perron and Husso and Sonny. I think they're about to get Fabry back, which don't ask me why I know so much about Detroit right now. I'm going to. Yeah, which is why I know so much because I'm following the old players. Um, Definitely had a soft spot for 4 of the 5 that are there now. I'm going to try and copy a link and see if I can't get maybe Lance or Chris or somebody on. So bear with me. I'm done trying to do it on my phone because that didn't work out well at all. Okay, that didn't work. Let's try a different browser. All right. I don't know if that worked. Oh, I missed a lot of comments. Okay. A lot of the teams that were awful are starting to be way more competitive. Detroit, New Jersey, Ottawa, Buffalo, Seattle, and to a lesser extent, LA. I agree. And it's nice to see. It's really nice to see different teams doing well. Shocky's been practicing his gritty for the next goal. John's going to the game, the last game of the year in Dallas. Well, that'll be exciting. I hope you and Lana have a great time there. You'll have to take lots of pictures. Sammy's laughing. Okay, this is some good news that I needed for the day. The football player that collapsed is awake and progressing. I heard when he woke up, he asked who won the game, and the doctor said, "You won the game of life." And yes, I really enjoy seeing the rise and fall of teams. And I'm a hockey fan. Like, I started out just being a Blues fan, but I find that here lately I've enjoyed watching several other teams play. And Matt, I mean, I am just impressed. Guy kind of thought I was crazy, but I think that he reminds me of Perron a lot. He's got a lot of talent. It might take him a little while to mature once he gets to the AHL and to the NHL, because in the juniors, you have a lot of room on the ice that you don't have when you get to the AHL, and definitely you don't have it when you're in the NHL. You have to find the ability to create that space. So that might be something that sets him back a little bit, but I think that he's going to do some amazing things given time to develop. Hey, Jose, it's good to see you, buddy. I haven't been on a whole lot lately, so I haven't seen a lot of you. I'm really surprised I have 9 viewers. The first time I tried to do this, I think only 2 people came on. Um, I don't think the link worked for Lance. Oh, so I'm not crazy. Thank you. Because I see so much potential. And for me, Perron's my favorite player. So for me to see that from him, that's about the highest compliment I could give him. But I'm just really impressed with his skill set. I think the Blues are going to have uh, a lot of good years with him. Uh, let's see. Gonna try and send the link one more time to someone, and if that doesn't work, you're just stuck with me, which is fine. I'm having a lot of fun. I really should try and do this more often. But I usually get too scared to come on by myself because I don't get to share it in as many places as Guy can. So I typically don't get a whole lot of people on to talk with. And if you don't have anyone chatting in the chat, it's really hard to, have things and topics to talk about. Um, and even now I'm kind of struggling, but we've only got 7 minutes left. And then I will definitely try for intermissions, and hopefully Guy will be home in time for post game. So you won't be stuck with just me all night, just a little bit. Oh, yes, he's been doing really good, Brad Pond. And yeah, it seems to be that refs are flawed and they I'll get to that one in a second, but all refs are flawed and they're going to make mistakes and have different judgment calls, and it's not as black and white as we wish it could be. I've been saying that since last season, and I think I kind of put it off, and he didn't believe me at first because everyone was about trading Tarasenko, but I really think that O'Reilly is going to be the first one to go. He's got higher value because he doesn't have that little, request of a trade going on that kind of is eating at Tarasenko's value. And who knows if he even requested it. All that got spun out of control by the media. I'm not really sure what to believe. Um, yeah, maybe maybe he will co-host me. um, yeah, Brad, I saw that you're gonna get to see him. I'm really excited for you, and I can't wait to hear about it. Yeah, Matt. As much as I want to say that we'll keep Vladdy, I don't think we will. And Guy's really going to hate me for saying that, but I just don't see him staying as much as I want him to. We really need to, get with the program on the youth. I think that that's the only way this team is going to move forward is if we try and, embrace the youth that we have, build around, the younger pieces. We can't hold on to the older players, unfortunately. The biggest sign of that was when we let Perron go. Um, Ryan's okay with O'Reilly going because he hasn't been the player that we know he can be, but he's always said that O'Reilly being captain took away the game O'Reilly used to have. And I mean, to an extent, I agree with you because I think that it's gotten to his head. He puts more pressure than he needs to on himself, and that affects his game. And yeah, Darkness, that's kind of what I was getting at. The team does need a retool. Not a huge rebuild or anything, but a retool would be, I think, beneficial. Um, I do hope that we keep Barbie, and I think that we will if we get, um, trade O'Reilly and Tarasenko. There's more room for it, but we also have to remember that the money that we're saving from losing O'Reilly and Tarasenko is pretty much going to Thomas and Kyrou and their big contracts, which I'm not saying they don't deserve. That I just think that they need to prove us, this season that it's worth it. Um, O'Reilly does turn it up in the playoffs, and you can tell when we're in a losing streak that he's the one that's trying to light us up. I really like O'Reilly. I'm not trying to knock him, but I think that he would benefit from a change of scenery too. I mean, we're getting a lot of scoring from Rosen. And yes, I know we have a lot of good veterans signed to long-term contracts. I really love Sod. I mean, he's the name on the back of my jersey for the Winter Classic. Booch has been nothing but impressive since he came to this team. I have nothing but great things to say about Shin, especially his. If you look at his stats in 2 of the last 3 games, he has had over 10 shots on goal. One game I think he had 11 attempts, and in the Chicago game he had 15 attempts. He has been showing that he can lead this team. Yeah, I'm sorry, Ryan. You got a little bit of a delay on your end, like viewing versus what I'm saying, so I might beat you. um, I I think you could be right on that, Jose. I don't want you to be right, but I think you could be right. Unfortunately, yes, Ryan, that is hard to move. I just gotta say, where has that come from? I mean, I don't remember Rosen playing that well the past 2 seasons when he's been called up. I know that he's been up for the past 2 playoffs, the past 2 years, and I didn't think he was bad, but I didn't really see anything that, wowed me. But this call up, he's been doing phenomenal. And I agree, he's not going to be a full-time NHLer, but he might be that fringe 7th defenseman. I think that number is gonna be more like the 3.5 to 4 mil, but I would love to see it. Shen for captain? I hope not. Hey, Wendy, it's good to see you. Yeah, I guess it is my show today. Guy's flying home to Hawaii. He thinks that he'll be able to come on post game. So I figured I would try it. Yeah, not really, but sure. And I would love to see a Mikola goal. I would love to see a Toropchenko goal. I really don't care who scores the goals for us, but I want to see a lot of goals. Um, I would love to see a hat trick tonight, but I don't know if that's coming, but we'll see. I'm not going to say what else I would like to see because that tends to jinx us, but Bennington is starting. Yes, Darkness. A neighbor's goal would be phenomenal. And I love Steady Letty, and Mikola has moments that I just adore him. He's still got to clean up some things, but I think that he has a lot of potential. Um, I wouldn't say that either one of them are my favorite. I'm kind of a Falk girl. I also like Krug a lot. Pretty much if it's not Pareko, I like our defense. And yes, I agree, Matt. It should be a really fun game. Um, yeah, it would be. But it's 6 o'clock. It's really close to game time, and I'm really shocked that I had a 25-minute solo show with 9 of you watching. Thank you, Jose, Brad, Sammy for throwing the thumbs up, and Hefner for the love. Oh, Canada's up 1-0 on the Czechs in the World Juniors game. Yeah, Matt. And yes, Darkness, I'm with you. If he can clean up some of those young rookie mistakes. I mean, he's not really a rookie, but he doesn't have the games that other defensemen have. He will go, pretty far, like top 2 pairing easily. And thank you. I really appreciate it, Jose, and I am just going to put up the thing for the intermission and I will be back then. Um we'll see you after the first. Well, that was a fun period. Luckily, Bennington has showed up to play, and apparently, Buchnevich has, eyes in the back of his head. Yeah, that first shot was a great glove save. Um, there's nothing else I can say. Bennington has been playing very good hockey. Um, I think that the team in front of him needs to go back to basics on certain things. Like we're getting hemmed into our zone a little too much for my liking. And I think that certain lines are trying to be more fancy than they should be. But Kairu had a beautiful goal. That's why I said the NHL said that he must have eyes in the back of his head. Hey, Jason, it's good to see you, buddy. Wow, we're up to 10 viewers. Um, really kind of surprised. Guy just landed in Hawaii. He's hopefully heading home and will join us on one of the other intermissions. I'm hoping, anyways, because it's not as much fun without him. But I figured I would try and give you guys a bit of a show tonight. Let's look at some of the stats. Jose thinks that the team has noticed how poorly their goalie stick handles the puck, and so they're shooting it to make him stop it and play the puck. That's a good assessment there. Right now in the first, we are definitely being outshot. New Jersey had 14 shots to our 5, but we have what it counts, and we have the goal. We still have yet to have a power play. New Jersey is 0 for 1 on theirs. Face-offs, they're beating us pretty bad. They have 62% of them to our 39. We've blocked 3 shots. They've blocked 2. We have 4 takeaways, and they have 3. We've given the puck away 3 times, and they've given it away 4. And we're continuing the hitting spree, and we hit 7 to their 3. And that penalty on Barbashev, I thought was really weak. I really didn't see a hook, but luckily we killed it off with some stellar goaltending from Bennington. Let me catch up on the comments. Sorry. I would probably cry if I broke the record, and I think Guy would too. But we'd be crying for different reasons. I mean, yes, Barbashev has not played to what I think the expectations were. However, he's doing a lot more of the forechecking and the hitting, and I just think that he's been moved around a lot. So he's not finding chemistry anywhere because he's been on every line. Zone clearing on the defensive end has to be better. We're lucky to end up that we're up. Bennington played really well. Yes, I agree. Guy's waiting on his bags, guys. I promise it won't be long, and then you won't be just stuck with me. I'm with you, Grandpa Moses. I agree with that 100%. And yes, Mike Brown, I totally saw that. I mean, I haven't not noticed him. He hasn't lived to the potential that he, had last season, but I'm not saying that he's completely invisible. Hola, mi amigo. ¿Cómo estás? I'm with you, Jose. I don't think, oh my goodness, I'm being saved. Hey, Lance.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. What did you think of the first period?
Um, I liked it, but the one part that we've seen it all year long. Too many shots on goal given up.
Hmm.
I know a lot of them by New Jersey haven't been great scoring opportunities, but you still can't give up that many shots. And also, still impressed with Cairo. I don't understand why people still hate on him. Certain other podcasts will say nobody's hating on him. Nobody ever says anything bad against the guy, but they do. You and I see Facebook, we
Hmm.
see Twitter, we see even comments by the media about Cairo. And
Hmm.
guys, Cairo is the real deal. If you don't think he is, you don't know hockey. I'm sorry. You just don't.
I'm in agreement with you. And I mean, between him and Buchnevich, that goal was beautiful. And it had to take a player being able to know where his partner was to make
Yep.
that happen.
Yeah, and somebody asked me today, and I don't know if you've seen it, um, talking about O'Reilly being the best defensive player on the team, and I don't even think he's that anymore. He's probably second out of forwards. I honestly think, and I think you're going to agree with me. I think Buchnevich's two-way game is better than O'Reilly's at this point.
I'm going to agree with you on that. And I mean, there has to be even something said about Shen's two-way game because that
Yeah,
has really improved. I would even put Shen ahead of O'Reilly at this point.
yeah, he's Shin. I think at this point in his career, he's going to score some goals. He's not going to score like he has in the past, but he still has that edge. And
Hmm.
I thought he had a good first period, and I think somewhat some of these shots are because they've got so many injuries on the D line and with forwards that you're probably going to see a lot of games like this until they get healthy. But that's one thing they've got to do is cut down on these shots, because you and I both know New Jersey's been one of the hottest teams this year, and a lot of people didn't think they were going to be very good. I thought they would definitely make the playoffs, and they're showing that some of these young guys like Hughes are really maturing, and they've got good veterans. Their goaltending's been really, really good this year.
Hmm. And then going to some of the comments, Jose feels that we're doing a good job shutting down Hughes. Matt Moe wants to say his only gripe on Cairo would be he can be weak on the puck and make some stupid drop passes, but that's about it. Cairo is not a defensive player. He is known for his offense, and there are players that are two-way, and there are players that are only known for one thing. He's only going to be known for his offense. We got to accept it, but his offense is freaking phenomenal.
That's right. And I don't know if the Blues fans are just so pro Berube and think that
Hmm.
he's God because we won a cup. But every time I see anything, oh, well, this guy wouldn't fit within the Blues because he's not a two-way player. He's got to be strong defensively before he comes to the Blues. Well, you know
Hmm.
what? If you're a general manager or a coach and you feel that way, you're passing up on a lot of talented players, because some of the best players of all time were not good defensively. Wayne
I mean,
Gretzky was
Wayne
not
Gretzky, yeah.
great defensively. Brett
Even
Hall.
Brett
Brett Hall
Hall
didn't.
and
Brett Hall, yeah, he was decent in Dallas, but he
mhm.
even told Hitchcock, and Keenan wanted him to play defense, and he told Keenan, "I don't get paid to play defense. I get paid to put pucks in the net."
I mean, even
And
Lemieux wasn't that great defensively. He was a finesse player.
yeah, yeah, and he could at times he could throw his weight around in the corner,
A little
but
bit, but he wasn't known for it. He
yeah,
wasn't a two-way
the
player. He was finesse.
the if you want to look at a great scorer, and one that comes to mind as a great scorer who was also very beefy and defensive, that would be Gordie Howe.
Hmm.
Gordie Howe was great in a two-way game.
I agree. Yes, Chris, but he's home. He's just waiting on his baggage, so hopefully he'll join us later. Um, I have to disagree. He is more defensive than Cairo, and his defensive play has improved, but I wouldn't say that Thomas is a two-way player yet. Does he have
No.
potential to become one? Sure. But this game alone is proving that he's not making the right decisions defensively.
Yeah, yeah. And young guys, not very many young guys are very good two-way players, because you've got a guy that normally is used to being on a third or fourth line, let's say in juniors or in college or in the AHL, and those type of guys tend to be more of your defensive types, and those guys that are on your top lines tend to be more offensively, and that's why they're on your top lines. The Blues are one of the few teams where Berube wants a two-way guy on that top line all the time. That's why he's put Josh Levo up there, which you and I both agree. Josh Levo does not belong on that top line. He just doesn't.
No.
And I this is a game the Blues, I think, can win, and it's a game that they must win because you've got to prove to not just your fans but to yourself that you can play very well against a very good team. I mean, they played good against Toronto and had the lead, but then they started slacking off and tried to shut things down. And I'm glad they won in the shootout, but it should have never gotten to a shootout.
No, it shouldn't have. Matt's saying that he's not saying he has to be defensive or two-way player, but a little less turnovers. Yes, that's an area that he could improve. Not going to argue that, but we're paying him to score goals, not for his defensive prowess. And he is young.
I mean,
he is young. He has plenty of time to improve in those areas.
Yeah, and what you'll find is a lot of guys that are very good at scoring goals, they grow into a defensive role, because as you get older, maybe you're not as fast as you used to be. And you've got to kind of, come up with a hybrid game to where you can still score those goals, but you can also give something to the team like an Alex Steen. And, I think a lot of people got spoiled by Alex Steen's first 7-8 years here thinking that, well, every player should be that way. And, it's nice to want that. But if you've got, let's say, 3 forwards that are good defensively, I think you're doing pretty good. You can't expect, 12 guys, your 4 lines to all of them be even average defensively. It's too much to ask, especially for a young guy who is focused ever since he was 4, 5, 6 years old on scoring goals. I mean, look at it this way. Hoffman never played defense until he came to the Blues. And then he was forced to do it. And was he great? No. But I think when he left the Blues, he was a better defensive player than he was when he came here. The problem with it is Berube didn't play him on the number 1 power play line. What do you have, 26 or 28 goals that year with the Blues? And he was on the 3rd and 4th lines for most of the year. Think of how good
and he wasn't on the power play at first. He was
he wasn't. No, and yeah, I think if they would have put him on the top 2 lines and on the top power play unit all year round, I think we'd have saw 35, 40 goals out of him on this team. I really do.
I do too. I'm in 100% agreement. Matt's also hoping Neighbors would take advantage of his opportunity, but he had a bad first. I didn't think that Neighbors had a bad first. He could have had a better first, but I wouldn't say it was a bad first.
No, I wouldn't say it's a bad first. He's young, guys. And, I think a lot of times Blues fans, it happened with Oshie and Perron and Berglund and what's his name? I can't even, Eric Johnson that the Blues drafted. Davidson, who I love as a GM, a much nicer person in person than a certain GM that we have. Would always talk to me and my family when he saw us, just a super nice guy. They hyped, because the Blues were bad, they hyped Perron and Berglund and Oshie and Johnson all as these top tier prospects. So Blues fans started expecting that. So now a guy like Neighbors comes up and they expect him to be Kyrie or Thomas instantly. And it's not going to happen. And I'm sorry, people are doing the same thing with Snuggerud. Snuggerud is a good player. He's got great talent, but he's got so much more room in the juniors, even the World Juniors.
I know. This is what I was talking about in the pregame. Yeah. I said it. I also said that he reminds me of Perron, which means that I expect he's going to grow. I don't think he's going to come in and be what everybody thinks he's going to be right away. He's got to have time to learn how to create that space that he has in the juniors that he won't have when he, moves up. He's going to have time. And once he does, he's going to be a player to watch, but you can't expect him to, be McDavid on his first season.
Well, yeah, it's like with Connor Bedard. All these people, well, if whoever wins the Bedard sweepstakes, they're going to be cup contenders. Guys, Connor Bedard is a very, very good prospect. There's
Mhm.
a big difference between junior hockey, and I know he scored a lot of goals and he got exceptional status. Well, guys, just as many players that had exceptional status turned out to be duds as there are players with exceptional status that turned out to be very good.
Mhm. I agree. I agree with you 100%. Marilyn, I know that you're right and I'm right, but he thinks that he's in Dallas. So let's just okay, guys in Dallas, if that's what you want to believe.
Are we arguing about that now?
That's what's going on in the chat. I mean, I said he's in Hawaii. He's arguing about that. And then Marilyn said he's in Hawaii, and he's certain he's in Dallas.
He was in Dallas this morning, but he's
Yes,
not
he
there
flew
anymore.
to Dallas
Yep.
yesterday,
Yep.
and he left Dallas today.
Hey, you know what I'm wondering? Do you remember Carroll House Furnitures when they would have that commercial? It'd be like, I'm so and so, and damn it, my old man's in Carroll House and he's bought too much furniture. Every time I saw those commercials, I would think, well, damn, if the guy's that senile and he's spending too much money, don't let him go to Dallas.
Yeah, exactly. And then Jose's agreeing that Neighbors had an okay first. He just had
Yeah,
a turnover at the end of the period, and he was able to cover his man. I agree. I mean,
yeah,
hockey
I'm very,
players,
yeah,
it
I'm
doesn't
very
matter who they are.
forgiving. Yeah, just like you are. I'm very forgiving of young players because people that's never played the game, they don't understand the difference between the levels between junior, the AHL. All they see is these gaudy stats that these kids
Mhm.
put up. And
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
use the word kids because they are kids
They're
still.
kids.
And even when they come into the league, I mean, look at Hughes for the Devils. People, I know they didn't say this as much about him as they are Bedard, but a lot of people put him up there superstar instantly. Well, no, guys, you've seen the struggles he's had, and he's been in the league, what now, 4 or 5 years? He's just starting to be able to do what he needs to do in the game. It takes time. There's very few McDavids, very few Lemieux, very few Crosbys, very few Gretzky's. Even Hall, it took Brett Hall a couple, he was always a good goal scorer, but it took him even a couple years to get where he needed to be.
Hmm. I agree with you 100%. Well, it looks like the game's about to
All
be
right.
on. We'll catch you guys at the second intermission.
Great. See you then.
Well, that was an interesting period.
Very interesting. I think you can tell that this team's got a lot of injuries. I mean, I think they're pretty fortunate to be in this game where they're at. A lot of mistakes with some of the younger guys, like Neighbors and guys. I've been telling you this since last year. Neighbors should not be up here full time this year. He still has a lot to learn. He's doing soft passes, and I mean, you can get away with that in the AHL and in the juniors and in college. You can't get away with that in the NHL. There's not enough space, and the players are so much faster and better overall. But I think the Blues are pretty fortunate to be in it. They're being, in my mind, mostly outplayed and definitely outshot. Bennington, I think, has kept them in this game.
Bennington is pretty much standing on his head,
Mm.
but what I don't understand is how the ref missed the call on that goaltender interference, because that was absolutely goaltender interference.
Yeah, he wasn't pushed in.
Nope.
And the ref was trying to explain to him. You could see he said something about the puck. The ref was trying to explain to him that he was going after the puck. Well, I'm sorry, just because you're going out after the puck, you can't run into the goaltender like that. I mean, we saw what happened with Kadri in the playoffs. I mean, that's an injury waiting to happen, because as a goaltender, you're set a certain way. And when that player hits you and bends you backwards like that, man, there's all kind of things that can happen. Back injuries, knee injuries, leg injuries. You've got to call a penalty on that, in my mind. A 2-minute minor, for goalie interference or something, because it definitely was. But like I said in a tweet the other night, this league has a problem with the officials interpreting the rules and not following the rules. You can't let referees interpret rules. Rules are there for a reason. And when it comes to goalie interference, it should not be under interpretation. It should follow the law that's in the rule book.
Shot by baby. Sorry. But yes, I'm 100% with you.
I got it. There's a problem. Goaltender interference isn't defined in the rule book enough for it to be.
That's what I mean. But they're not even following. They're not even following the.
I can hear you.
Yeah, they're not even following what's in the rule book, Guy. I'll give you a minute.
I've been on the ground less than an hour, so is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
That's all right. But I don't know if you heard me, Guy.
I heard some of it.
All right. The rule book is vague, but they're not even following what's in the rule book. They're leaving it up to the refs and into interpretation. And I'm sorry, any rule that's in the rule book needs to be better defined in goalie interference, and they need to follow it to the T.
Okay, and I have no problem with that. The problem is goaltender interference isn't defined yet. It has not been defined in any way, shape, or form that you can say this is goaltender interference and this isn't goaltender interference. Mm-hmm. That's what the league needs to do first. I mean, it's quite simple. Remember a couple of years back, Jake Allen got pushed completely out of the net. The guy laid on him.
There was two guys in Boston that did that.
Then they come up, they score, and they say, well, it's not goaltender interference because Jake Allen never tried to get back to the net.
He couldn't get back to the net.
Well, but how does that, first of all, him being pushed out of the net, not only was that goaltender interference, that was a penalty.
Yep.
A penalty should have been called on one or both of the players that laid on him.
Yep, definitely.
But they turn around and go, no goaltender interference because Allen didn't try to get back to the net. Why don't you even call the fucking penalty to begin with? Man, I've only been on the ground an hour, guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's all that bent up emotion from sitting in a plane for 10 hours.
Yeah. Oh man.
That's a long flight back home to Hawaii.
Yeah, 8 hours. It was an 8-hour flight back. I had a good family. I was with family last night. So, you got all of us here tonight. I'm in a semi. I'm going to talk about something on the post-game show. Hopefully it'll be a little bit better. I don't think I'll have my setup set up, but I'll be able to do this. I'll get a better headphone in. So,
you sound fine.
You sound fine now.
Okay. But I'm not hearing things I'm not hearing myself. So that's weird. I don't, my board, I hear me. Actually, you got to hear it from my board yesterday, right? When we were there. It's so much different when you're
It is
hearing
different.
yourself talking everybody else. It
Yep.
really it adjusts how you speak to everybody. So
See,
Mhm.
where
not
it
hearing
threw
it.
me off because I'm not used to that. So
Yeah.
at the live show, I was like, huh? What's
Yeah.
this?
Once we get you aboard, and we're going to do that. Once we get you aboard, then we can go from there, and you'll be able to have headsets on to your board, and you'll be hearing yourself the way you're supposed to.
Okay.
Right? That at least that's the plan. That's the plan. We'll work on getting you aboard. I haven't seen much of the game, so I don't know what's going on. I know Hugh scored 2. I seen Lou Corrick, and I'm going to start calling that bastard out. He gave me the cold shoulder when I was there for my birthday. So
Really?
yeah,
Are you kidding me? Luke Corrick gave you the cold
Oh,
shoulder.
Luke Corrick couldn't stand me. Luke Corrick wouldn't
I've-
piss on me. If I was on fire, Luke Corrick wouldn't piss on me to put it out.
I've had some exchanges between him and I, and let's just say that we are not best friends.
No.
Yeah, I'm not sure that he's best friends with Guy either. So
No, not
he
even
doesn't
close.
like to be questioned at all. He
Well,
doesn't like it when people bring out points that are spot on that show that he's wrong. He doesn't take criticism very well.
No. And then you ever see, I don't see how they get away with it. Well, these guys are established. That's the only way. He's got NHL.com behind him.
Yep.
But all his tweets about a game are always negative. Always negative.
Always.
Right? Neighbors should watch that replay again and again and again. Neighbors is a fucking 22-year-old kid that has 35, 40 games of experience. He's going to make a freaking mistake.
But that's how you fix it, is you watch the play over
Yeah,
and
but
over
it's
again.
the way.
I don't disagree with that tweet. I've seen worse, though. I've seen a lot
Yeah,
worse. That particular one,
it's just the way it came out. It's the way it came out.
Yeah, he could have put it differently and said, well, Jake's young, but he really needs to watch that video, and hopefully he'll see how he made a mistake. That puts a positive spin on it. He's got to understand these young players, Guy, they're going to make mistakes. Sidney Crosby made mistakes. Wayne Gretzky made mistakes.
Sidney Crosby still makes mistakes. And so does McDavid, and
That's
so
right.
does Ovi. It's how they recover from them.
Yeah.
Right. So it sounded like the first goal that Kyrou scored was pretty special.
Oh, it was
special.
It was great. He put his stick exactly where it needed to be and deflected it right over if you're a Blues fan and you still don't like Kyrou after that goal, something is really wrong with you.
Well, look at this with Kyrou right now. Hold on. Look at this with Kyrou right now. Can you?
Yeah, we can still hear.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? When I'm on, I don't hear myself talk because I don't like it.
Kyrou's at 19 goals right now.
Yeah.
I mean, he's on a pace for 42 goals. 42,
right.
43 goals this season.
Oh, and Guy, another thing. People go back to during the season. How many 2-point games has he had? He's had a lot of 2-3 point games.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. So he's got to be, if he's at 19 goals, he's got to be up around 40 points.
I think he is.
I'm going to check that out. Actually, hold on.
He's got to be. He's got to be upwards of that. And then I had Ryan Green sent me some stuff today, and it was showing like all these guys, for how many the most goals for 2000. USA killed Sweden. In the bronze game. How many goals in year 2022? And they were showing like 5 guys in the 50s. And I'm looking at Tarasenko ended up having 35 or no 45. Tarasenko, I mean, he doesn't get hurt. There's still a possibility that he has that.
All right, Guy, with the goal tonight, Kyrou's sitting at 38 points. He has 19 goals, 19 assists.
19 assists, yep.
See, I was right on. I said in the 40s. So
close.
Low 40. Well, I mean, right there, close enough. I'll tell you what I saw with the Blues at practice, and that there's a disconnect, and there's no doubt about it. Doug Armstrong watched practice intently, and I really do think moves are coming.
Well, I can tell you, Guy, and you know this from being at practices, he's not there very much. So if he's there, he's looking at some.
He was hiding.
Oh,
he was watching it. He was watching it from an office. I mean, he was scrunched down watching the practice. So he wasn't out there.
Yeah, because he's normally not there.
McGinnis was, and he was watching intently. Right? He was watching intently. Looks like Brunovich could be back soon.
Good.
right? He's wearing the red practice jersey,
Yep.
so he could be back soon.
Yep.
One of the things that surprised me about the Tarasenko and O'Reilly injuries is that they didn't put him on LTIR.
Well, I haven't heard a lot past what I heard the second day after O'Reilly showed up with it all purple and swollen. But I did hear, and I can confirm this with two people with the Blues, Tarasenko might actually come back early. He might be back in 3 weeks. It just depends.
Yeah. Well, with a broken bone like that, it all depends on how his grip's going to be. I know when I came out of mine, I couldn't move my hand at all. So
well, it depends on how the break is. If it's a hairline fracture type of a break,
it's a fracture. It's not a complete break.
Yeah. So then he could be back in 2-3 weeks easy.
Yeah. Yep. Well, mine was a fracture, wasn't a clean through break, but I still was out 6 weeks. So mine.
Yours is at a part of your hand where even a fracture is really going to kill you.
Yeah. I've broken my wrist 7 times. I've had many different degrees of breaks. My favorite is the hairline fracture because it's better than a sprain. It's better than obviously a clean break because you have an idea of how long it's going to take to heal.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't know what's going to happen in the third. I know that they're facing a good team, and it's a team they need to beat.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I want to tell some people about the Devils. They're goaltending all 3 of those guys, including Blackwood, who was supposed to play tonight. They've been really good this year, but I will say New Jersey's going to make some moves. And I know I've said the Islanders are still interested in him, but New Jersey right now is a front runner to get Tarasenko. And they're also probably going to get rid of Blackwood. He's going to be the odd man out at the end of the year for a team that's looking for a second goalie going into the playoffs. So don't be shocked, guys. If Tarasenko ends up with the Devils, don't be shocked at all.
I can see the Devils. I can see the
Devils.
Yeah,
I can too.
right
real quick
now,
before the game comes back, I wanted to give some stats. The Blues are currently being outshot 24-12. Both teams are 0 for 1 on the power play, but the Blues still have a minute and a half. The face-offs are getting better. We're 41% to their 59. We have 14 block shots to their 7. We have 7 takeaways to their 5, 4 giveaways to their 10, and we're out hitting them 16-8.
Okay. I mean, right now, the most important thing is crisp, clean passes and beat them on the scoreboard for me. Right? No, I'm serious. That's what you got to do. You got to beat them on the scoreboard. Got to beat them on the scoreboard. None of the other stats matter right now. I mean, if they take one more shot and it's in the net and they'll take 25 more shots and none of them go in the net, I'll take that.
I think that the Blues will win this game if one thing doesn't happen.
What?
And that's if Berube doesn't look at his lineup and see that a lot of guys are inexperienced there, and he doesn't all of a sudden tell them to go into a defensive shell. If they go into a defensive shell in this third period and don't keep pressing all period long, even if they get a lead, they're not going to win this game.
Did Tarasenko make the All-Star game?
I'd seen they announced the East, not the West.
No, the West was supposed to get announced during this period. Right? West
he did. Tarasenko did.
Wow. So the Blues probably won't have a representative then.
Yeah, they will.
Well, I know he could be back by then. Because it's early February, late January, early February. So
Lou said he could be back by then.
Okay.
Like I said, he could be back early too.
Jason, I'll say that all the time. Offense is the best defense. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, when you get a 2-goal lead, you can't play back. You can't pull back. And that's what the Blues did in that Devils game. They held back.
You mean the Maple Leafs game?
Maple Leafs game. Yeah, They held back. Sorry.
He's jet lagged.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not jet lagged, but I've been on the ground less than an hour, and I had contacts in for the past 48 hours. So
yeah, that's tough.
I didn't get to take them out, so my eyes are starting to bother me.
Yep.
I don't know, man. This team is an enigma, and we saw it. Ashley, you and me saw it. We saw the game they played against Chicago, where they did not play well at all and won. Then we saw the game against the Wild, where for the first 2 periods it seemed like they played okay, and then gave up.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it's just the team's an enigma to me.
Yep.
I think they're
And
an enigma to themselves right now.
If they were a medical patient, you'd look at them and go, I don't know what the hell's wrong with them. Because one day, man, they're up and about, they're walking down the halls of the hospital, and the next day they're totally cold out in bed, laying down and can't get out of bed.
I think Cairo will probably be on the vote because there's a fan
I think
vote.
he will be. Yeah.
And if Tarasenko can't go, Cairo will.
Yeah, I'd imagine so.
Are we being outskated? Outshot is one thing, but are we being outskated? I haven't seen the game, so I'm not able to see that.
I would say a lot of times New Jersey's pressing more than the Blues are. Would you agree with that, Ashley, that they're pressing more?
They're pressing more, but we're taking the puck away, and we're not sustaining pressure in their zone, but we're skating better.
Okay, one more thing with the show. Starting tomorrow, the Bluenote Fan Report page is the only place the show's going, and YouTube. I'm not even putting it on Twitter anymore. I might put it on one Twitter. I'm not putting it in 3 different things. I will take that one and share it to the groups. If the groups don't like me sharing a page, that's on them. But they've all told me I can share my show. That's all I'm doing. I'm sharing my show from that page.
Yep.
One spot now. So I've got 714 people that are following that, are following it. So that's what you got to start looking for. So look for me to post that. The game will always be here in some way, shape, or form. The off nights, maybe not so. But you guys start going there and asking now put on the groups to give you notification, or not the group, the page to give you notifications. That's what you got to look for, right? I just, I want to get this down because it's hard for me to sit there and say how many views I've got when I've got views scattered all over the place. 2 places, YouTube and that. YouTube and and not only that, if I put it just in that group, I can comment here and you'll see my comments. Everybody will see my comments. So that's the only way I can comment.
Hey, Wendy, I'm not shocked because I don't know who else Chicago would send. And, they want a player with a name, and Seth Jones has a name. So that's why he's going to the All-Star game.
Kane.
Yeah, but trust me, they want somebody that's going to be there with Chicago. They don't want somebody put them in the All-Star game and a month later they get traded. They want somebody to represent the city who's got a longer contract that's going to be there.
We'll see. I honestly don't know about that.
Well, he's already been on the All-Star team. Seth Jones was voted on.
Yeah, but if Kane's on the side, well, what I'm saying is with Kane being there, Kane still got a chance. Oh, that was sweet. That Barbashev goal, that was sweet.
Yeah, that was good. The Cairo one was better, though.
I'm surprised that Troy Terry made the team over, oh gosh, what's his name? The young kid.
Zegers?
Yes.
Right? Yeah, Zegers will be in a vote. Okay, game's back on, guys. Have a good one. We'll see you at the Ashley, you got the show right now. Sorry.
Oh, I'll see you guys at the post game.
Okay, I'm here. I'm back. I'll do the best I can right now. I can't hear really, really good. Not used to this kind of set. Wow, good win, but oh my goodness, shouldn't have been that tight of a game. Should not have been that tight of a game at all. Come on. When is the NHL really going to crack down on this diving? When are they going to crack down on it and stop it? At what point are they just because that second penalty that made it 5-on-3 that allowed the goal, that was absolutely a drop stick. That wasn't a slash. That wasn't he dropped the stick on purpose. Anytime a guy goes, hey, you know it's on purpose. I don't know where she is. So you got me right now. Can you guys all hear me okay? I guess so. Danny, I don't want to fucking talk about it. I don't. I said it in my thing. I don't want to talk about it. I do not want to talk about it. Sorry, I seen your post earlier and I skipped it on purpose. I honestly don't want to talk about it. That should have been a pin on New Jersey, making it a 4. I agree. No, it should have been a 4-on-3. It should have been a 4-on-3, right? It absolutely should have been a 4-on-3. Okay. Yeah, we were talking about dives. He let go of the stick.
He let go.
Absolutely let go. Anytime a player goes like, he does and throws his hands up like this, he knows what he did.
Exactly.
Right? And the ref calling that should have been called a dive. Right? I don't want to talk about it, guys. I'm talking to Danny, and now Carly. I don't want to talk about it. I said my piece on TikTok. That's it. They did what they did. And my emotional state is to the point that I just can't handle it right now, and I don't want to deal with it. I just found out that my fucking bitch of a wife didn't even buy me a fucking birthday card. So, yeah, I'm in a bad fucking mood. But let's get back to the game. Brandon Saad, finally, he's showing what he's supposed to be. Thomas, I said this when Tarasenko and O'Reilly went down, when everybody was like, whoa, it's us. Oh, no. Fuck the playoff. I said this could be the chance for the kids to really get out there and play the way that they wanted to play. And the last 2 games, that's what we saw. 10 goals? 11 if you count the shootout win. Giving up, what did they give up? 5, 6, 8. I'll handle that. Especially when that third one, you can't. That was on the refs. The score should have been 5-2-1, right? Oh, Matt Lowe's giving me some shit now.
You make yourself an easy target.
Matt Lowe, they're 2 different people. People don't realize that. It is what it is. I guess I'm all fucked in the head. I said at the start of what did I say at the third, right? I don't care if they take one shot and it goes in and get a goal and that wins the game. That's all I care about. Put the puck in the back of the net. And at least that's what they were able to do. And they got the puck moved around. They did decent things. And either Lance went away or he was having trouble.
He's probably having some trouble.
Okay. What did you think, Ash?
I agree with you.
Right. That we need to get the next goal, and that sure enough we did, and we did score the next goal. Yeah, they've just got to keep doing this. They just got to they've been since Tarasenko and O'Reilly have been out, they've been putting pucks on net.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Pucks on net. So I don't know, man. It's just an interesting thing right now, the way everything is playing out with the Blues. The more they can get pucks on net, the more they can play together. Lance is mad. I hope not.
I don't think Lance is mad.
Send him a message, Ash.
Okay.
Make sure I didn't do anything.
I don't think Lance is mad. He's
Okay.
been having some technical issues.
Okay, had a hell of a game. Oh yeah, Benner did have a hell of a game. He should be the first star, right? He made some incredible saves tonight, right?
Hmm.
I agree with you, Matt Lowe. Made some incredible saves tonight.
He absolutely did. We would not have won this game without Benner.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I don't think we would have won the game against Toronto without Benner. Benner has
Oh
been
no, yeah.
superb. He has really definitely stepped it up, especially after the 2 goals against Minnesota that were totally on him.
Yeah. Well, actually, I think you could put 3 on him in Minnesota.
Well, 2 for sure were from
Yeah.
bad puck management.
Yeah.
The third one can go either way. It's like 50-50.
Yeah, I was more on the hard side of that 50-50.
No, I was on the opposite side. I was
Yeah. Well, we
straight.
were sitting there watching it, so
Yep.
I watched that one going. He should have had that. That was the first thing in my mind. You want to go over the stats real quick?
Absolutely. That's what I'm pulling up.
Okay.
So shots on goal, the Blues had 19 and the Devils had 39. Face-off percentage was not good for us. We had 36.4 to their 63.6. We need to get stronger.
Yeah.
Power plays, we were 1 for 2 and they were 1 for 4. Penalty minutes, we had 8 to their 4. I don't agree with our 8, but we had 21 hits to their 8, 21 blocks to their 9, 5 giveaways to their 13, and 10 takeaways to their 8.
Good numbers. I mean, overall, good numbers. You know what I've been noticing with the face-offs? When we win the face-off battle, we lose the game. When we lose the face-off battle, we usually win the game.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Especially if we can get them on board early. This is not a comeback team like it was last year.
No, it's
that
not.
is absolute. We have not seen any comebacks. They have got to get up.
We've
They've
seen
got to
some
get that first goal.
comebacks. We've
a
seen some
few,
incredible comebacks, actually,
This
but they're
season?
not as many as they were.
This season, I don't think we've seen that many comebacks.
Yeah, we have. Not
Okay,
from huge deficits, but we have.
Okay. I don't know, man. It's kind of tough. Did you get anything from Lance?
Not yet.
Okay. Hope he's not mad.
I don't think he is. I think he's having technical difficulties.
No,
That's why he's not responding.
I don't know. Maybe my going off. So I said earlier that I was gonna say some stuff about the show, some changes to the show coming up.
Okay.
Right. I talked about one of them already. From now on, you will not see this on so many different places. It's going to be in basically 3 places. It will be on Bluenote Fan Report, on YouTube, on Facebook, and maybe one spot on Twitter. Right? That's it. That's it. I'm not putting it in all these different spots anymore. The Facebook, the one that's going to get shared, is the Bluenote Fan Report page. So you guys, that's what you're watching now, the feed you're watching now, where you're commenting on YouTube, on Facebook now, that's where you need to comment. Now, here's the thing: if you do not watch it from this, and if you watch it in the group without just click it and not go to the main page, whatever comment you put in that group, we will never see. Right? That's the one thing. You have to comment on the show itself.
Yeah, but by doing this, it also eliminates some of the issues that we were having with people's names not showing up, because you only have to, accept the terms and whatnot with StreamYard once then.
Yep. With this one, it didn't force you to do with the page. It doesn't force you to do this. I'm going live on StreamYard thing.
Exactly.
But it did when it was in the group.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And then there were people, sometimes they would be on mine, but it wouldn't show it. So,
and I mean, I will still share it into the Hawaii Blues fan, but it'll be shared from the Bluenote Fan Report page.
Yes. And then the other thing I'm going to do, I put something out on Facebook today, and I really wanted to know, first of all, I'm to a point where I'm almost ready to stop doing the show. Right? I really am. And some of that's personal, some of it's professional. But one of the things that I've noticed is this show has not grown at all in 4 years. We're basically the same place we were where I was after my first year. And the show's got to grow. So I put something out and said, hey, what do you need to make the show better? And I got pretty heavily stopped with the just hockey. So for mental health, I know I still need to talk about it, but I'm going to do it separately. I'm going to make a
Mhm.
separate YouTube page and a separate Facebook, not group, but page for mental health. Right? I'll do my TikTok separately. I'll do hockey separately.
Yep,
But
I
we'll
agree
we'll
with
do
that.
that. We'll do that now, and we'll see how that does. But sometimes you know what? It's going to bleed over. It's
It
going to bleed
will,
over.
but you gotta kind of reel it in. It can't always be.
Yeah, I know. But I will do my best. I
Mhm.
really, really will. But the show's got to grow, right? Especially with me moving home, the show's got to grow. And if it's not growing, it's going to make it a lot harder for me to move home, right? Because it's going to force me to take a real job. And if I take a real job, I'm not going to have the time to do this, right? At all. So, I mean, that's what it gets down to. Oh, no, I know Ashley had good numbers. I know, and Ashley did a great job today. Thank you, Ash, for
Thanks.
covering today. Sorry, there was nothing I could do.
I mean,
Um,
you're traveling it.
yeah,
And I didn't even know I was gonna do it. Like a couple of people said, "Hey, guy said that you were going to do this on your." And I was like, "What?"
I said you might do it on your own.
And then Jason was commenting or something, and then I was like, "Okay, do you really want me to do it? I'll try."
Yeah. No, I will be coming to St. Louis by myself. I will be coming to St. Louis by myself. I will be starting my life over again in St. Louis.
Hmm.
Right? Absolutely. It's about time. Um, I'm not going to talk much more about St. Louis. It was a decent trip.
Hey,
we're,
Bob's offering you a job.
yeah, what Bob's offered me a job to do is take care of his kids so he can go out with his buddies. I don't know about
Hey,
that.
I have sometimes 5 screaming kids in the background when I get on here.
Yeah, well, I raised mine already. I don't know if I'm going to raise somebody else.
It's not raising; it's just watching.
Yeah, it's the same thing.
No.
I know with Bob. No, I'm gonna start trying to do things differently, and I'm gonna get there. Um, Whitney says that the World Juniors ended by a golden goal. You're only happy because Canada won, and I think the guy was probably a Blackhawks prospect or something. Hey, you know what, Jason? A lot of people miss me, and I'm not going to get into it. Right? I'm really not. I don't want to. I don't want to ruin what I'm already at. I don't want to ruin the. I don't want to make where I'm at any worse. But none of that matters. None of that matters. What matters is I was home. I did what I think were really good shows.
Hmm.
The lives themselves, the atmosphere was different. The last night live, we had 12 people in there. And yeah, it's not a lot, but it's something and it's a start.
Hey, that was 12 people in person while you still had 15 people to 20 people in
Watching
the
it.
chat.
Yeah. 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 I seen that. I had 25 watching on my birthday,
Hmm.
right? Oh, Gunther's a Coyotes player. Okay. You should come to my appointment. What is
Apartment.
your, huh?
I think he meant apartment.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Uh, yeah, I know. I've been offered a couple of places to stay. And it's you know what? The holidays are hard on people, and I get that.
Hmm.
I get that. I get it. And maybe the well, first of all, and I got nothing against Cusimanos, okay? But it's not a high end establishment. It is a dive bar. He's very proud of this dive bar. There are people that will go there that will not go to other places.
I enjoyed the dive bar.
Yeah.
Oh, his sales appointment.
Okay, but I don't remember it, Jason. I think you did say something about that, but right. I for the most part, I kept myself busy. I was not as busy on my birthday as I would have liked to have been, but that's fine. Um,
Sorry, I
New
was
Year's
sick.
Eve. Say again.
I was sick.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
sorry, man.
no issues. No, no. Um, the Soups is the place. JP Fields is the place that I really want to grow.
Hmm.
Right? Soup's already said that he'll put in a sound system that'll work for us,
Hmm.
right? And I think in there, I mean, we'd have our own dedicated bartender, right? If we could fill that place, if we could get 50 to 70 people out there, we could fill that place, right? Um, Actually, I think 50 would probably fill that room.
Hmm.
comfortably, for a show like that. And not only that, when I come home, I'll have better gear. I'll have different. I'll have like the. I'll have another camera set up,
Hmm.
and I'll also have another laptop set up. We'll have a few more different things set up, so it'll be out, and then we'll also probably be able to have somebody be a producer that actually run the board for us,
Hmm.
separate of us talking, so it'll separate us out, and then we'll
Yeah.
be able to put yeah, Chris, I just got to a point that I don't know. I felt like it was time to go. I felt it was time to go.
You see, I would love that, Matt, but
Yeah.
I don't think Guy wants to go to Arnold.
Oh
But
no,
that's
I don't
close
mind
to my
Arnold.
house.
I don't mind Arnold.
I
I
mean,
don't mind it. I mean, that's why I'm looking for somewhere West County,
yeah,
right?
Arnold
I
would be
want to be
great because
I
I
want to
live
be
like 9
central.
minutes from Arnold,
Yeah,
so that would be like Ashley's there. But
right.
like even JP Fields, I was gonna try to go, and then I saw that it was a 40-minute drive, and I'd been puking all day, and I was like,
Yeah.
I
No, no,
ain't gonna do that.
no. It's fine. No issue. No issue. Yeah. JP Fields is in Clayton, and it's kind of a central place, and it is a higher end establishment. In fact, one of the great things about Fields was Tim Peel was there, and so was the play by play announcer for the Minnesota
Hmm.
Wild, right?
Matt, I am actually Barnhart, so if you're talking anywhere near Imperial Main Street, I'm really down.
Won't get large crowds in Arnold. You never know. I mean, it all depends. Um, we just got to keep. I got to be able to spread it out. If I'm just doing it in one place, I'd like to have 4 or 5, places
Little
that I could,
hubs.
yeah, hubs that I could go to on regular basis and preset it up so you can plan it out and put
Hmm.
flyers out and all that stuff. And I can get better at doing flyers and things like that. I really do. And I think me being home, I mean, I picked up 4 followers just at JP Fields,
Hmm.
right? From people that hadn't had her. And then the play-by-play guy for the Minnesota Wild, I can't remember his name. He actually, no, they weren't many players. I ended up talking to them. They weren't the Minnesota Wild players. They were guys because they came up when they were talking about the sister JJ, the
Hmm.
guy that dresses as a nun.
Uh-huh.
He came in there and wished me a happy birthday. So they don't even know what hockey is in Farmington. I feel like an outcast. We'll get there. Hot shots. I've tried to do it hot shots and they've turned me down. But as I start getting there, I'll start getting, as I get home, I'll pick that up. Yeah. Yeah. No, Joe Jose, you're right, man.
Jose is right.
That's Jason. That's exactly what I want to do. Right. That's exactly what I want to do.
And yep, that's exactly what I kind of push for too.
The Metro East, I don't know, man. If I went out in the Metro East, I think Bellevue would be where I would go. Right?
I don't know that I would go to the Metro East,
Yeah. But well, like Lance lives over there, so that would be good for him.
It would be good for him. I would get so
Yeah.
lost. Like roads in Illinois confuse
Yeah.
the crap out of me.
Oh, I know. My last night in after the show after the game, I was just kind of like I didn't feel like going home right away, so I was going to try and go to the casino, the Horseshoe Casino downtown.
Yeah.
Right. And I ended up making a wrong turn and getting over on the east side, and it took me 15 to 20 minutes to get back.
Mm-hmm.
I just could not figure it. I finally had to stop and post it in, and and then I had trouble getting back. So I was getting upset. I was getting really upset. I almost had a meltdown yesterday morning. I couldn't find my car keys, not these car keys, the car keys for here.
Yeah.
Because I'd accidentally taken them, so I thought I put them on the counter. I guess I ended up putting them in one of my pants pockets and hadn't taken them out.
Ooh.
Illinois is like Canada to the U.S.
Kinda.
I've lived in Illinois. I mean, I lived up near Chicago. Oh man, that's a sweet goal by.
I mean, I've driven through Illinois. Don't get me wrong. I drive like whenever I go home to Iowa. Most
Yeah.
of my trip is in Illinois, but
Yeah.
I don't ever leave the highway.
Like, see, I wouldn't mind doing. I seen that, and Danny, I can't get it. I want to get the hat signed.
Yeah,
I'm
that
gonna
would be
get
a
it
great hat
signed.
to get signed, especially before he gets traded.
Yeah. Well, I may know if I'll be there before he gets traded, but even if he gets traded, I'll get it signed.
Hmm. Yeah, different kind of
Yeah,
show.
yeah. I went to a few of those. Robert, hey Shy, how you doing, buddy? Um, what is that? What is Spokes? I don't know what Spokes is.
I think it's just a place in where is it? Farmington.
Farmington. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try and branch out. But here's the thing, guys, and it comes down to this: if I go out and do these shows and you don't show up, there's no more shows because Soup is different. Okay, because he knows me and he likes it, so he'll let me come in there, not bringing anybody in. Uh, Nick from Cusimano, same way, because he usually doesn't open till 10. So if 10 guys come in and buy drinks and pizzas, he's making money opening earlier. That's money he wouldn't have made before. But there's other places, if I'm there and nobody's coming, they're not going to have me back, right? Because I have to take the music down. A lot of places don't like that. There's a lot of other stuff that has to happen, and you got to think that.
Yeah, Shocky, I don't like the roads in Illinois.
It's Bellevue, right? Isn't that the like big area, the 619 area or 618 area code out there
I don't really
in
know.
Illinois? Shocky, is that it? Bellevue, I think it is. I might be saying it wrong.
I think I've heard of it. I just don't know where it is, Matt. I've been
Right.
meaning to
Yeah,
look it up.
Belleville. That's close. Belleville. I would do something out in Belleville because it's kind of Belleville's like kind of central to the Metro East, right? If you look at it, it's probably about 15, 20 miles from downtown St. Louis.
Oh,
So-
yeah. I know Reds. Yes. Let's try
Okay.
Reds. That'd be great.
What is Reds?
It's a bar in Imperial.
Imperial?
It's on 6167. It's pretty close to my house.
It would be very, very next to Scott Air Force Base. I couldn't do Scott. It would be very, very hard for me to get on Scott.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You have to really I'd have to be established. There's a bunch of rules I'd have to go through. Me being retired helps, but it's still when you do media with the military like that, there's hoops you got to jump through.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like anybody that's come, all my gear has to be pre-expected. Anybody that's coming has to go through a background check. It takes 6 to 8 weeks to set up, just from a minimum of that, just to get the background checks in to do the show.
Yeah, Matt, it was really awesome.
Right. I think so I've been trying to think like what I want to do in St. Louis when I'm there, because I want to do the show, but I probably need a little bit of extra income on the side. I think I may look at possibly depending on how things go, maybe getting a couple of extra places and doing Airbnbs, and then buying a couple of smaller cars or decent cars and doing the Turo, right? You know, that side stuff. Well, I know there's a lot of bars near Scott, but we just got to find places that people are gonna show, that we can plan, we can get a little bit better. And then here's the other thing. I'm putting this out to everybody. I need a web guy. I need a web page guy. I need a web designer. I need somebody that really wants to help us. You got to go?
Gotta go.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Because I want to get my website back up. Right? I absolutely want to get my website back up. I'll find me a server, but I got to get the website. I don't want to start writing again. Right? I want to start writing again. Well, I mean, that's good. You know, once I get there. Well, I don't think, Shocky, that I'd want to do it on base because that limits. So I wouldn't do it on base. I would not do it on base. I would keep it off base. Well, how long has it been since? Oh, they're still doing this show. We covered this attempts. They had 77 attempts. Give Bennington first star. I don't know who got it, but 26-11 on the chances. They only had 9 blocks, so that tells you a lot about the Blues getting in the way. But losing faceoff 16-28, that's something that we definitely have to work on. Well, right now I need somebody who understands, you know, a webmaster. I need a webmaster. I need somebody that's going to be able to do it in their spare time, but also focus on it, right? So I can build it at least until it gets on its own, because I know how to do some of it, but there's other stuff that I don't know how to do, and I've lost some things. You know, when my partner screwed me over, I lost some things, but you know what? I'm ready to go. One hockey related, one for veterans. I don't know what you're talking. Have you considered doing 2 shows, Jason? We actually talked about this, right? What I'm going to start working on tomorrow is setting up a new YouTube page, and I'm going to call it Guys Mental Health Channel, right? Or Guys Veteran Mental Health Channel. I'm not sure if I'm going to put veteran in there. Maybe I'll put it in like parentheses. But I'm gonna do that, and then I'm also gonna set up a new Facebook page that will be connected to, and a new Instagram that would be connected to. So I'll do that. Hey, Brad, I know you're going to Montreal. Probably on. I know we play Saturday and Sunday. After you get back, we'll bring you on for about a 15 or 20 minutes where we'll talk about your experience. How's that sound, buddy? Right? And then enjoy that game in Montreal. Jake Allen gave him tickets.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yes, he did,
really
and it's awesome. And
yeah.
I hope you have a safe trip there, Brad, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Yeah, we'll talk to you, buddy. Right? And be safe. Well, Jason, you don't have to get TikTok to watch my stuff, right?
It just shows up.
It just shows up, you know. You play it'll let you play it, you know. And Instagram's no different than Facebook. So that's how I look at it. Maybe the police will win for me. I think he means the Blues. So yeah. I'm not sure. I don't have my Brad. We can be Brad Pond Spurs sometimes. I think the boys. I think the boys are going to win for you. Yeah, I really do. And they're playing well. I mean, look at the 2 teams they just beat. Jason says you can't even have Facebook. Well, I appreciate it, Jason. Right?
Yeah.
So I have the Bluenote Fan Report now YouTube channel, and I will go. I'm going to make a new email address. Make a new YouTube channel, make a new Facebook page, make a new Facebook group that I'll make them public, right? And or not group page, not a group page. I'm not going to do another group. I do not want a Facebook mental health group. That's right. I don't want to deal with that. But I'm going to connect all that up and start working on that. It might take me a couple of days, but that's what I'm going to work on.
Okay.
Right. Sounds good. It's kind of late into this. Any last words, Ash?
Nope. It was a lot of fun. Thanks, guys, for supporting me while Guy was, in the air.
Yeah, no, you did a great job, Ash. You did a great job. Right? You did really well. Sorry, I mean, I got on as soon as I could.
Oh yeah, you were fine. You got on sooner than I thought.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I walked in the door and the second intermission was starting.
Yeah.
So, I was able to pull things out. Now I got to unpack and get ready for another argument. So
good luck with that.
Yep. Have fun, guys. You guys all have a great night. This is Guy, the co-host tonight. I'll let you know what? I'm going to let Ash take us out. You take us out, Ash.
I promise, Bob, I'll try to change it.
Change what?
The smoke alarm.
I don't hear it. I don't hear it. My ears are that bad. I don't hear it.
I hear it.
Right?
Bye.
Look at what Matlow said.
Thanks, Matt. You're awesome.
Yeah, you guys all are. Have a great night. Take us out, Ash.
Bye. I don't really have a spiel like you do.
That's what you're supposed to do, the spiel.
I don't have a spiel.
You're supposed to do my spiel.
I'm not going to do your spiel. I'm not you.
Okay, well, guys, have a great night. This is Guy, the Hawaii Blues fan, for Ashley Slapshot Jones and Lance the Drop the Scott, saying aloha, mahalo, and we'll see you all tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time on the Bluenote Fan Report.